Tolerant Ben and Jerry's hired a ton of illegals to prove Trump wrong. Get sick thank you gift for the job. Ben and Jerry's is elbow in a cow's rectum with their latest problem caused by their overindulgence in gourmet tolerance. They hired tons of Latino employees, many of which turned out to be illegal and possibly from shady sanctuary cities, and now those same workers are giving them an ultimatum present they won't ever forget. If you can grasp this for 1 second, before laughing out loud or saying you've got to be effing kidding me at least 3 times in a row, then here's the scoop: illegal immigrant employees hired illegally are protesting for better conditions at their illegal job in their illegal country. Ben and Jerry's uses a lot of fair trade ingredients in their products, but the milk is from Vermont and we're having a little bit of trouble up there thanks to lazy Americans who are too stupid or lazy to milk cows the right way. Ben and Jerry's had to hire some illegal immigrants who work harder, and here we are in the middle of the most deportable protest you'll ever find. Illegal immigrants protesting because those slobs in Vermont won't milk the darn cows every 12 hours like they're supposed to. One call to ICE and Ben and Jerry's could have their entire factory vacated in 5 minutes. Either the immigrants run like they're in a track meet or they get scooped up by the agents and hauled off to their homeland. Either way, I blame my fellow Americans for screwing up the double-tug job to get some milk for us. If Americans in Vermont could do the job right, then Ben and Jerry's wouldn't be in this predicament. You know how the saying goes, right? If an illegal immigrant steals your job, then you weren't good at it anyway. This weekend, migrant dairy farm workers marched on Ben and Jerry's Vermont factory demanding better pay and living conditions. We can't wait anymore. We are going to pressure them and see what happens, says Victor Diaz, one of the farm workers. The June 17th March for Milk with Dignity marks 2 years since Ben and Jerry's first committed to join the program that was started by activist group Migrant Justice 3 years ago. Better working conditions. You're in America. That's already better working conditions than where you're from. What better conditions could there be for milking cows? If the employees clean up after themselves, then what else is there to do? They're tugging udders and spilling milk into containers. Wipe up when you're done and call it a day. Time all for employees being treated well and think everyone in our country deserves optimal work environments. Although, if I was an illegal immigrant, then I'd be a little bit nervous to be running my mouth at a protest. One wrong move and it's a one-way ticket to wherever they came from. Ben and Jerry's showed interest in the deal since 2015 but has not been able to agree on specifics. Part of the problem is that the group wants a legally binding agreement but have not clearly spelled out what they actually mean. They want a farm worker-authored code of conduct based on their definition of the human right to work with dignity and fair housing without explaining what that means. They are also asking for education about their rights under the program, a third party to monitor and enforce the agreement, and unspecified economic relief. The company must be earning millions each year. I've seen the women in my neighborhood and I can tell they put down a half-gallon of Cherry Garcia at least 3 times per week. There are a lot of fat people in America who love ice cream, so Ben and Jerry's should man up, give the workers a break, and double their productivity. Maybe by 2030 we can all look like Rosie O'Donnell. For many years, Ben and Jerry's has been on the forefront of social activism, preferring to use fair trade ingredients when possible. The bananas, cocoa, vanilla, sugar, and coffee used in their flavors all come from fair trade program certified suppliers, but the main ingredient, milk, does not. 85% of the milk used by Ben and Jerry's comes from local Vermont farms. The company already gives the farmers cash as a reward for better practices, but workers say the money has not been improving their conditions. Ben and Jerry's knows what happens next, right? If they shaft their workers, then the milk gets a booger in it and ruins an entire production line of ice cream and costs them money. I don't care if they hire illegal immigrants. You know why? If we Americans can't do it right, then that's our fault. We need to work harder to get our jobs back. Not to mention one phone call to ICE might result in their entire place being evacuated. You want to make some job openings in Vermont, Then call ICE and see what happens. If not, then take care of the employees and keep the ice cream coming.